I think the time has come to find out what Dad was working on. I better check the library card again. I'm sure Dad left me some other clue. It's a card for the Bonetown Library. The card belongs to Henry Morgan, my father. Let's see the last read book, Properties of Concrete. What was he working on in his final research? Better go to the library to make some inquiries. A Fabergé egg at the Dead Man Inn? Good morning, good sir.
Good morning. How was your night?
There were moments I thought I wouldn't survive. Then I saw a ray of light and realized that the worst was over.
These are just some of the thrills you can experience here at the Dead Man Inn.
What happened to Bonetown in the last few years? I remember when I used to come here that it was a nice little town.
I think it's just progress. The young prefer to go try their luck elsewhere, apart from a few exceptions. It's just down to us from the older generation to keep up the honor of Bonetown by welcoming the incoming tourists with love and professionalism.
I'd have to dispute that, actually. Is the public library still there?
Sure, boy. It's one of the crown jewels of Bonetown. At least it is according to what Margaret, our librarian, tells us. I'm simply reporting what's said because I personally never go to such places.
Strange. I would have bet the opposite. Could you tell me where it is?
Turn left at the main square, just outside the door. Boy, if you don't want to get lost, use this. It's an old Bonetown postcard, but it was used as a tourist map during the golden years. It could be of use to orient yourself and move around Bonetown.
Thank you.
Are you interested in something in particular?
Just to reminisce a little bit. My father used to take me there all the time. Thanks, and goodbye. Better leave the key here. I don't know if I'll want to avail myself of this service again tonight. There you go. Now I can leave. I don't want to take anything from here. It's still material in the public domain. At first glance, there seem to be different tomes, some of which have considerable value too. I wonder why they're out here. I don't need it. It looks new. I don't think I need this kind of souvenir. It's the public library of Bonetown. I never imagined it would have survived, given the state of the town. Better not. It's like seeing my house. Even if I picked everything up, then it would suffer the same fate in our closet at home. Wow, there are some extremely rare first editions here. Better not. It's like seeing my house. Even if I picked everything up. It's one of those old message boards on which they hung the wanted posters. Here in Bonetown, time seems to have stopped. There are still posters of the gang that was raging here decades ago. The members have become famous. I recognize the posters of Rufy, Nami, and Zoro. The others are faded from exposure to bad weather. There's also a little footnote. Posters offered by the Lafitte Amusement Park. I don't need them. A well-stocked library, but it would be a lot of work to put it in order. I have no time to fix other people's things too. For such a small town, there are a lot of books. It's not my priority right now. Good morning.
Good morning. How can I help you?
What happened to Bonetown in the last few years?
The city has always held more allure at the expense of the small villages, and Bonetown is no exception. All the young people left when they had the chance, leaving the town in its current sorry state. It seems you know our town well, although you're so young. Can I ask your name?
Of course. I'm Willie Morgan.
I'm Margaret. Margaret Teach. But for those who attend the library, I'm just Margaret. Once there was a Morgan here in Bonetown, too. Then he left, seeking fortune, and he became famous. But he never stopped coming back to visit Bonetown. I don't think you know him.
You mean Henry Morgan by any chance?
You surprise me, and that doesn't happen often.
The point is, I know him very well. Henry was my father.
I'm sorry, kid, I didn't know.
Don't worry, it's been a while.
10 years ago, right?
How do you know that?
Kid, I'm the librarian. I basically remember everything that is put on paper, and Henry used to come to our library a lot.
Do you know anything about his disappearance?
Unfortunately, only what I've read about. One night he was here in Bonetown. The morning after, it's like he vanished into thin air. Not a clue, not a trace. No letters or anything that could have guided the search parties to a solution.
Do you know what he was working on in his final research?
I don't know. He always read a lot, basically all the tomes you can find in here. And sometimes at his request, I had to order books from other cities as well.
Do you know if he had enemies, maybe?
Henry?
Thanks for the information.
Don't mention it. If I can be of any more help, just ask.
How come all across Bonetown the gutters seem to be new?
They are new. There has been some geological instability in the last few years. We don't know yet if it's due to natural causes or human activity. In any case, the result is that Bonetown no longer has a working water network, and the only way to retrieve some water at a decent cost seems to be this one.
Whose idea was this?
Maybe the only person who really cares about the state of Bonetown, our Mayor Steve Bonnet.
What can you tell me about Steve Bonnet?
He's the only one here doing something to keep Bonetown alive. Without him, our village would be much worse off. I suggest you go visit him. He knows everything about Bonetown. If you need something specific, he'll be able to help you for sure. These days, he lives in the town hall to deal with all the city's problems, but he's always available to everyone.
Thank you. I'll visit him as soon as possible. I need to consult one of your tomes.
It's always a pleasure when someone wants to benefit from the services offered by our library. What are you looking for?
Not Very Famous Pirate Songs by Threepwood.
Unfortunately, that's one of the most requested books. There's even a waiting list to consult it.
Grog and Other Delights.
It hasn't been available since 1998, when grog was declared a substance harmful to health, and the book was never reprinted again.
Grog, are you kidding?
It was a short-lived law, abolished immediately afterward to avoid a mass uprising.
Luckily.
Don't get me started. A cup of grog in the morning is like a panacea. But in case it happens again in the future, I have put aside a personal supply.
Properties of Concrete.
Oh, what a surprise! It's not among the more popular in Bonetown. I guess this is the second consultation in more than 10 years.
Doesn't it get the attention it deserves?
Here in Bonetown, people don't read a lot, especially a book like that. I could never have managed to face it either.
Where can I find it?
I guess it's somewhere on the upper floor. You should recognize it easily.
Thank you. Thanks, and goodbye.
Thank you for visiting the Bonetown Library. If you need a specific book, you can ask me, Miss Teach, or just Margaret.
Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. It seems to be a very old crate. This lock is peculiar to say the least. I'm pretty sure that I'd need a special key if I wanted to open it. On this desk, there are books of every kind, from how to build a cuckoo clock to anchovy fishing for newbies. It's the famous book Properties of Concrete, the last book read by my father. It's stuck under the huge number of books on the desk. I must find a way to free it. It's stuck under the huge... I must find a... It's the famous book Properties of Concrete, the last book read by my father. It seems to be a very old... What's that old crate upstairs?
It belonged to Charles Teach, a great-great-grandfather of mine. Many years ago, we opened it with the help of a locksmith, but it was empty. Then the key got lost again, and nobody has any interest in it anymore. Maybe the locksmith has a copy of it somewhere. I never feel like throwing it away. It's still a family heirloom after all.
Thanks, and goodbye.
Thank you for visiting the Bonetown Library. If you need a specific book, you can ask me, Miss Teach, or just Margaret.
Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. It says to follow the arrow to access the museum. I didn't know that Bonetown had a museum too, especially a museum in this obscure alley. It looks like it was installed recently. They're barrels filled with water. I don't think that dragging this barrel of over 100 liters would benefit me a lot. If I had to guess, there are more than 100 chicken dishes. I may be wrong, but I think the owner specializes in cooking chicken every possible way. I don't see how the complete menu of the One-Eyed Jack would help me. One-Eyed Jack Restaurant. The name is catchy, the sign much less so. I don't know what's worse, the chicken wings used as bones at the sides of the skull, or the general state of the sign. Everything here is going to the dogs. I wonder what happened to the city. It wasn't always like this. Menu of the day, chicken, or chicken and salad, or chicken, salad, and cheese. While for drinks, there's only grog. It's the sign for a museum. I don't know what interesting stuff there is to see. It's not specified on the sign. I can't see the opening time either. Dark alley, ambiguous sign, no opening time for the public, and an old open door. I like it. I don't know how, but I hope it might come in handy. At first glance, it appears to weigh over 100 kilos. Surely working out in the gym made me stronger, but I don't think it performed any miracles. It seems like the propeller of an old vessel. There's also some writing. Flying Dutchman. I don't think it's that Flying Dutchman. There's a sign with the word museum, which rules out the possibility that it's a library. I'll go back there later. Now I have to find a way to obtain the volume Properties of Concrete from the library. I don't think there are any books here. Even if it's battered, I think I can make out the word restaurant. It's not time to enter there yet. I need to use the clue left by my dad first. Let's try. It worked! Check out what we have here. Interesting. There's a hiding place inside the book. I understand why Dad chose this tome. It's the only one in the whole library that nobody would read, but also the only one thick enough to contain something. Let's see what it is. It's another letter from my father. It's dated July 22nd, 2008, earlier than the other one. There's also a piece of paper that seems more ancient, but I can't figure out what it is. Better take a look right now. If Dad did all this so that I'd find it, there must be something important. Now I understand what the piece of paper was that I found with the letter. Dad always performed great feats, but I never imagined he was looking for kids' treasure. It has always been said that it was basically a legend. I don't remember the complete story exactly, but maybe the librarian can help me. And I have a list of names. Better start asking information of the townsfolk, without attracting too much attention. I don't need my father's old library card anymore. Even if someone found it, it would be useless. I have the letter and the piece of map belonging to my dad. It seems to be a very old crate. Better not. There are important clues. It's a piece of the map belonging to Captain Kidd, but I can't do anything with it if I don't find all the other 8 pieces as well. Am I wrong, or did you tell me your name is Margaret Teach?
That's correct.
Do you know a man named Charles Teach?
Your question surprises me. How do you know my great-great-grandfather?
I'm doing some research on the genealogy of Bonetown, and I stumbled upon the Teach family.
Yes, it's been several generations now since the Teaches settled in Bonetown.
What can you tell me about Charles Teach in particular?
He was the one who brought the name Teach here to Bonetown, but of his past, little is known. My great-grandma told me that he was a former fisherman with a knack for books. This library is a donation he made to the city of Bonetown just before he died. After he arrived here in Bonetown, he devoted himself exclusively to reading, and many of these books were bought directly by him.
He had so many of them that he basically founded the town library, which then became the family business for the following generations, too.
And he didn't leave anything else apart from the books?
All he left is stored on the upper floor, but it's mostly junk. The real treasure was his books. There's also an old crate without a key, but it looks empty.
Do you by any chance know the story of Captain William Kidd?
Sure, it is mostly a legend.
In the golden era of piracy, Kidd stood out for his endeavors, if you could call them that.
The endeavors of a pirate aren't exactly heroic most of the time.
Anyway, his ship, the Adventure Galley, was supposedly filled with treasures when it suddenly disappeared. A few years later, in 1701, Kidd was captured and executed, but his ship and the crew were never found.
What do you think happened?
What always happened at that time? Kidd and his crew squandered all the loot, and to cover their tracks, they sold or even burned the ship.
After this story, Kidd became legendary.
Thank you. Do you by any chance know the story of Captain William Kidd?
Sure, it is mostly a legend.
In the golden era of piracy,
The endeavors of a pirate aren't exactly...
Anyway, his ship, when it suddenly disappeared, but his ship and the...
What do you think?
What always, and to cover their...
After this...
Thank you. Thanks, and goodbye.
Thank you for visiting the Bonetown Library. If you need a specific...
Thanks, I'll keep... Very strange. I have the feeling I'm being watched. Better be careful. You never know what can happen in Bonetown. It's a book on Tom Rayleigh, prominent artist of Bonetown. There's something written. Free. Maybe it will come in handy.
Go ahead and take it. It will open both your heart and your mind. Some stickers to support Tom Rayleigh's cause are included as well. We also need your help to make this artist known.
Thanks. Prisons, the story of Tom Rayleigh. Now I know why this book is free. It seems more like a series of rambling stories instead of a serious biography. Maybe there's just one bit of plausible information. Here it says that Tom Rayleigh's past is dark. He was repeatedly put in prison in Bonetown for being drunk and disorderly. The stickers are nice, but the book is useless to me. I'd rather put this book back in its place. Probably someone else will find it more interesting. Free. It looks like there was a race to the bottom for this volume. I don't think it would come in handy. I'd say it's scary.
It's my handiwork. It seemed to me that the subject respected all the classical canons.
Maybe they're not the same canons I studied at school.
It's one of the few pieces left by Tom Rayleigh. Ancient sources said that he was a prodigy in cartography drawing, but everything has been lost.
I understand. It's part of the museum exhibition. Better leave it where it is. There's something written on it. For the heirs of Tom Rayleigh.
What do you think you're doing? Have you seen what is written on the envelope? It's the property of Tom Rayleigh's heirs.
But I'm one of his great-grandsons.
I'm a researcher, as well as a capable artist. Bring me concrete proof and you can have the envelope. Until then, the envelope will remain museum property.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can I do something for you? I am very busy and I'd hate to lose time.
Are you the museum janitor?
No. I'm the curator, as well as the only artist in Bonetown.
Remarkable. Busy doing what?
Oh, I don't think you'd understand. You don't look like you have an open mind like us artists.
Please, I'm very curious.
No.
Come on, share it with me.
No.
Okay, I don't think it was that important anyway.
Not important. Are you kidding me? My research is, of vital importance for Bonetown and its history.
Research for peace of mind?
Funny.
Finding himself?
No.
What kind of research?
I'm trying to clear the name of one of the most controversial figures of Bonetown.
Who are we talking about?
Tom Rayleigh. He spent almost his whole life in here.
Was he a researcher too?
No. This was a prison once. They say that Rayleigh, because of his alcohol problems, spent most of his sober time in here.
In every town there's a drunkard.
No. Tom wasn't a drunkard. His artistic life was very troubled. My research proved that.
Have you already done other research on Rayleigh?
Yes. You can find everything about it in the book I wrote on Rayleigh. You can take a copy if you like.
Already done. Very illuminating.
Really? What passage impressed you most?
Practically everything about Tom?
You're already calling Tom. I transmitted empathy, so I've done a good job with the book.
Just what I meant. How come you're so obsessed with Tom Rayleigh?
It's not that I'm obsessed. Tom Rayleigh was an artist, just like me. Some of the objects in here are his works. But, as with all misunderstood geniuses, he had a devil inside. Some people claim that, in the midst of a drunken stupor, he could produce his best works. But once he was sober, he destroyed those works because he deemed them not to have been done by him. And I, being a misunderstood genius myself, now want to clear his image.
If you say so. And how do you think you can do that?
I'm trying to recover all the works left by the master. And in the meantime, I'm tracing Rayleigh's great-grandsons by delivering the only thing he left here in Bonetown.
His dignity?
No.
Money?
An artist with money? I don't think that's possible.
A toothbrush?
Don't joke about that. We artists are not interested in personal care.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm talking about that envelope.
What are the contents of the envelope?
I don't know. It's an official document classified by the police and kept here in the museum. It says for Rayleigh's heirs. I can't open it. It would go against my artist code of ethics.
And probably against some laws as well.
Yes. I'm looking for Rayleigh's heirs to deliver it. So I might know what happened to Rayleigh once he left Bonetown, too.
What are the contents of the envelope?
It's an official document. It says for Rayleigh's heirs. It would go...
And probably...
So I'm...
Goodbye.
Yes. Goodbye.
It's a table. It would be better to ask the owner before taking a seat. It's a glass case equipped with a lock. It seems there is a sort of fortune cookie inside it. I can't open this case without the right key. The lock seems to be tamper-proof. It's a very strong lock. I don't think it can be opened so easily. I need the key. I think it's the restaurant manager. Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the One-Eyed Jack of the Bellamy family.
I glimpsed the menu outside the club. What's your specialty?
Chicken, kid. Delicious, free-range chicken.
Only chicken?
Absolutely, kid. Chicken is our main ingredient. Healthy, genuine, and it's not fattening, so you can eat as much as you want. We Bellamys have invented more than 100 recipes to serve it with.
A diverse menu, then. How's business going?
Money is not important to the Bellamys. Our forefather, Eddie Bellamy, left us a little nest egg to pursue our family mission.
And what would that be?
Find the chosen one.
I see there's a free table. Can I take a seat?
It depends.
On what?
That table is reserved for those who want to test themselves.
Can you explain better?
Our family, the Bellamys, have always looked for the chosen one, and this table can reveal if a person is that or not.
Are you a great-grandson of Eddie Bellamy?
Absolutely, kid. My great-great-great-great-grandfather was the best cook of the 7 seas. He was the one who founded the first One-Eyed Jack, and since then we've come a long way.
Do you mean that you've expanded all over the world?
Absolutely not. Bonetown has always been the one and only place where you can taste one of our delicacies.
Do you mean that you've introduced new, original recipes?
Oh, absolutely not. Nobody can improve Grandfather Eddie's recipes. A distant cousin tried to do that, starting his own company, the Mix something. But I haven't heard about it since, so I don't think he had our luck.
Surely not your luck, yeah. I don't get it, but it's okay anyway. What's inside that case? It seems like some kind of fortune cookie.
Kid, that is not a fortune cookie. It's the fortune cookie, the first and most inimitable pastry needed by the skilled hands of Eddie Bellamy and passed down for generations, waiting for the chosen one to come and taste it.
Do you mean that in all these years, nobody was able to earn the right?
Absolutely not. That is the original cookie. Never has another one been baked.
How can you recognize the chosen one?
That'll be the only one who can pass the test.
What test?
The menu, kid. The menu. Only the worthy will listen to the entire menu without blinking an eye. And at that point, he'll have earned the cookie, along with honor and fame.
Very epic. Where does the test take place?
At the table. When you feel ready, take your seat, and we'll see if you might be the chosen one. But don't get your hopes up. We're extremely selective.
I've seen that all through Bonetown there are new gutters.
Yes. The mayor decided to invest the city's money that way. It's not a bad idea. By channeling the rainwater, the city will ensure some drinkable water.
The mayor?
Yes, Steve Bonnet. He's the man who's been taking care of the city for countless years. Luckily, he's in charge, or Bonetown would already be a ghost city.
Thanks, and goodbye.
Thanks to you, and enjoy your stay in Bonetown. I see you want to prove yourself. When you're ready, call me. I'll be right there.
I feel ready.
Very well, I'm coming. Let's begin the test. We'll soon know if you're the chosen one or just another common person. Our menu includes mushroom chicken, algae chicken, egg chicken, spicy chicken, sweet corn chicken, pepper chicken, olive chicken, chicken and vinegar, blah blah, chicken, blah blah blah, free range, blah 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 blah, herb crusted, blah blah blah. Kid, hey kid, the test is over. I'm sorry. I thought you were different from the others. For now, you're not the chosen one.
And yet I was sure I'd be the one.